Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry. I had everyone on mute, so you heard nothing I said. First of all, let me start with this. I'm upset. Got to get that out the way. Secondly, we are here because it is episode 6 of the Maize and Blue and Gold show. Me and my host, Ryan Fravel. Obviously, Ryan isn't here. He's probably licking his wounds from the last beating he got from us. Other than that, though, we are, of course, going to talk about Michigan destroying the recruiting trail, including getting their fourth commitment from an Ohio target. Obviously, the people in Columbus are not doing well. That vile, disgusting cesspool that is Columbus, they are not feeling well right now. I've been getting a lot of feedback on Twitter, and they're melting down. They're panicking a little bit, and as they should panic. Uh, all these commitments, and you're still upset. Hey, you know what they say about the angry black man, right? But yes, to answer this question, Sly 142, I am upset because the job ain't done, right? As Kobe said, job's not finished. We still got some business to take care of. Obviously, Jaden Davis is at the top of the list in 2024 of the business that we need to take care of. Obviously, there is 2025 quarterback, superstar quarterback sensation, in-state quarterback Bryce Underwood that we need to land, and he was just back on campus yesterday. So Jaden Davis left on, or he was back on campus. Was it yesterday? Yesterday. Jaden Davis leaves on Sunday. He's right back on campus. Not even 2 days later. There are people in the comments thinking that's a bit of gamesmanship. There are others who just think, he had such a good time 2 weeks ago that he couldn't wait to get back. And maybe it'd have been a little awkward if he was there with Jaden Davis. Who knows? That being said, we are in prime position to get everything we want in this recruiting class. Michigan has several crystal balls in their favor for targets like only Maryland's good counsel's own Aaron Childs. His teammate Darian Mayo was just on campus this weekend. He had a phenomenal weekend. He caught up with TMI, or TMI caught up with him rather, and he discussed his weekend. Michigan at the top of the heap for him. That's obviously great news. We just had the number one recruit in the country on campus, according to On3, and Dylan Stewart. He also had a blast, and he's not a very talkative, not the talkative type, but he had a lot to say in a positive fashion for Michigan. Here is Ryan now. We're going to add him to the stream. I was just letting everybody know how Michigan is dominating the recruiting trail and how we have overtaken, according to 24/7, Notre Dame in the team rankings. We are now the number 3 ranked team in 2024, and Notre Dame is number 4. While we're at it, the other state is ranked like 14th. They're so far down, I can't even, I don't count that high. And then Little Brother is even further than that. They're like on the moon somewhere. They're so far behind. But Ryan, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty well. As you can see, I was getting some new fit.
Yep, I like
got
it.
me some new Notre Dame
I mean, I
stuff. Got me
don't
the
like
Hartman
it,
jersey
but
in the back.
it's good for you.
You do like
right?
it. You do like
I
it.
do not.
I got me the custom Hartman jersey in the back.
Right.
Fresh out of the bag. So
Very nice.
future Heisman Trophy winner. You feel me? So
yeah. I'm surprised you're not a Cowboys fan, man. You're a Lakers fan, a Notre Dame fan. You a Yankees fan too?
Nope, I'm a Cardinals fan.
Okay. All right. Well, they're close enough. Cardinals. All right. Well, I can't be mad at that. So look, This is our good friend Michael Campbell here, who is also one of your loyal Notre Dame fans. Says Brandyn Hillman didn't take a foreign language requirement to get into Notre Dame. Look, that sounds like a personal problem between you, Notre Dame. I can't even say and Brandyn Hillman because Brandyn Hillman doesn't have any problems. He's with the good guys. As you can see, I broke out my because I got options. By the way, Ryan, I broke out my 2021 Big Ten Championship shirt for this one. Because I got options. I can go in the closet. I can get a 22 if I want. You know, we're champions. So we do things champions do.
See. My only options for Notre Dame jerseys right now was my old Brady Quinn jersey and now the Hartman jersey I just got. So
yeah, I understand. Andre Williams has a question for us. He says, "Do you think if Jaden Davis commits to Michigan, do you think Bryce Underwood will go to the other state?"
No, Bryce Underwood's going to Notre Dame.
All right. So, all right, I gotta stop you right here. There's gotta be some rules here. And number one, Notre Dameism, and that is just frantic like fanaticism. It has to stop. You guys have no ties to Bryce Underwood that would lead you to believe that he would be in South Bend. But
I do know. But what I do know is that he actually recently spoke about his relationship with Marcus Freeman.
That's good.
And said that Notre Dame is definitely one of the top teams for him, and they just got involved. So
there you go. So anyway, to answer Andre's question, I think that the other state would be in play if he decided he wasn't going to Michigan. That being said, I mean, I see no reason why, even if Jaden Davis commits, that he wouldn't or couldn't commit to Notre Dame. I mean, to Michigan. It's too much Notre Dame.
No, so let me really quick. So, if I'm being realistic, though, we're not getting Bryce Underwood, but
okay. Thank you for being honest.
George McIntyre, Notre Dame just recently offered him. Great Notre Dame fit in terms of academics. Right now, his leading team is Vanderbilt, but he's the number 3 quarterback in the class of 2025, right behind Bryce Underwood and Cutter Bully, who Notre Dame is in that top 3 for Cutter Bully as well. So they've I feel like at this point they've kind of got the pick of the litter in between Cutter Bully and George McIntyre, because I mean, let's be honest, Kentucky's not beating out Notre Dame for a top 3 quarterback, and neither is Vanderbilt. So
the disrespect, man. What's going on?
Vanderbilt went 5-7, so give them props. They actually won more than 2 games this year.
Yeah, they actually were kind of impressive this year. Let's start here though. We got to start with recruiting. Let's start with recruiting. That seems like a hot topic right now. You guys just had 5-star defensive lineman Justin Scott on campus. What are you hearing about that visit? What are your thoughts on Justin Scott? And what do you think is the likelihood that he recommits? Or actually, he never committed. It was
going to commit to Notre Dame.
Going to. What is the likelihood that you guys land him?
So basically, from everything I'm hearing from Notre Dame, and not just Notre Dame sources, but also Georgia sources as well, it seems like right now it's a Notre Dame-Georgia battle. If we remember back when he set his original commitment date, he was going to commit to Notre Dame, and then all of a sudden, here comes Georgia with the offer. And it kind of made him rethink his decision. He wanted to go see what Georgia was like, which you can't knock a kid for. Hasn't been to Notre Dame since. So Notre Dame sources were kind of feeling, hey, maybe he's going to just end up at Georgia. But in recent weeks, it wasn't even the coaching staff that reached out to Justin Scott to get an official. It was Justin Scott himself, who was really serious about getting back up to Notre Dame. He's got an official visit to Georgia in June, I believe.
Yep.
But from everything I'm reading,
he's scheduled 2 official visits so far. It looks like.
From everything I'm reading, it's a Notre Dame Georgia battle. That's not just Notre Dame people. That's also national recruiting analysts as well. But based off of how good this visit went, a lot of people tend to think it's Notre Dame right now. That could change in the future when he takes his official visit to Georgia. But as of right now, the leader in the clubhouse, according to everyone, is Notre Dame.
So I really don't have thoughts on him visiting Notre Dame. Obviously, that was a school that was high on his list. He went and visited. Was this you said this was an official?
This was an official. Yep.
Oh, an official
Notre Dame
visit.
usually, Marcus Freeman, for whatever reason, I know a lot of teams like Ohio State, Alabama. I don't know if Michigan does this, but I know a lot of teams save their official visits until during the actual season.
Right.
But Notre Dame, at least for Marcus Freeman, likes to get them out of the way because he thinks that it's better for Notre Dame to start to lead for these kids early on and have that relationship to start off with, so that like Notre Dame kind of gets a head start. Because we've seen it with Peyton Bowen, seen it with Keon Keeley, we've seen it with Dante Moore. Notre Dame gets on these kids early, and then Notre Dame becomes a leader in the clubhouse for them. Sometimes gets a commitment from these kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But as we've seen with CJ Carr, that was one that just worked out. So I think it depends on how you look at recruiting. I don't know what Michigan does. I'm sure Michigan probably does kind of in the middle with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people criticize Freeman for why you having your OVs in March. Well, Notre Dame does that because they have their pot of gold weekend where a lot of these 2025, 2024 big targets come in and they all hang out together.
Right.
Like the 20, 30 kids. And that's when those classes start to like, hey, I really like this guy. He's going to Notre Dame. So why don't I go there too? That's why they do that. So
yeah. So really, really quick. Jason Moose has this to say. Triple M, that's me, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, Ryan. Triple M, that's me. From what I've heard, Davis's last visit went really well. He got a chance to talk to Campbell. He's pretty much a lock to Michigan. Hopefully he commits tomorrow. That is the same sentiment I've gathered. I'm in a couple different groups. I'm not going to say any names and give anything away. However, I'm in a couple groups, and the talk is that Jaden Davis will be committing. Whether that's tomorrow, though, is another story. You may have to just tune in tomorrow for who does commit, although I fully expect another commit tomorrow. It's kind of like a thing right now. I think we're like running through Ohio first. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow it could be Brian Robinson, right? It could be Bryce West. It's a plethora of options in Ohio, so keep that in mind. But yeah, so I don't know. Obviously, you've heard that Michigan has recruited the state of Ohio extremely well here lately, getting a 4-star running back, the number 2 player in the state of Ohio, Jordan Marshall, to commit yesterday, and then earlier today we got 3-star offensive lineman Ben Roebuck to commit to Michigan. This feels like a retro. It's retrograde. This, back to the days of Lloyd Carr when he, would pillage Ohio for their best talent. What say you to Michigan right now? As it stands right now, Michigan has they've got one of the top 5 players. Another one of those top 5 players is crystal ball to Michigan and Brian Robinson in the state of Ohio. Is this a big deal for Michigan, do you think?
I definitely think so. When we started the show, I think one of the biggest criticisms we had of Jim Harbaugh was the recruiting outside, like not just first of all, recruiting in the state of Michigan,
right,
was a big problem. When you have 2 quarterbacks the caliber of CJ Carr, Dante Moore, who are from your state and have a lot of connections to the University of Michigan, and they go elsewhere,
Right.
we said that was a big problem. That's a big issue. We also talked about then that recruiting in Ohio was a big issue for Michigan as well.
Certainly.
So I think, and part of it, I think also is that you guys have beat Ohio State back-to-back years. I think that kind of opened these kids' eyes because for the longest time, what was it? Before you guys beat Ohio State 2 years ago,
Right.
when was the last time you guys beat Ohio State?
I think you have to go back to like Denard Robinson, 2014, 2013, maybe
And a lot of those kids were not even in middle school at that point.
2012.
So, which
I
is
mean,
crazy to think about. That's making me feel old out here. These kids weren't even in middle school, man.
right.
But no, like I really think it's a credit to Jim Harbaugh and his staff that they're actually going out and beefing up their recruiting process in Ohio. The thing I'd like to see now is, and I'm sure you would as well, focus on Michigan more.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of talented kids that come out of Michigan, and the fact that a lot of these kids recently that have came out of there that are very talented, Michigan's not even in their top 3.
Yeah.
That's an issue. That is a big issue.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, you got to go back to 2011, the last time Michigan beat Ohio State before 21. So that been a long time. Secondly, I agree with you that we need to put a fence up around Michigan, especially for the top recruits. Obviously, you can't keep everyone, or you can't recruit everyone, or be successful in recruiting everyone in the state. There are several variables that play a part there, whether it be academics or whatever, right? This is one of the issues we're going to touch on a little later with Brandyn Hillman. But there are other issues, like just the fact that Michigan just wasn't recruiting well over the last 3-4 years in the state of Michigan. Losing people like Dante Moore really hurt. Losing CJ Carr even hurt. To a lesser degree than Dante Moore, but also it hurt because he's a legacy player, right? His dad, his grandfather was the head football coach of the last national champion in Michigan. So losing him to a rival even hurt. But I think what you said
even the
is
fact that was it
absolutely
Michigan
true.
State? Michigan State finished second for CJ Carr.
Yeah,
That's disrespectful. Like, I'm sorry, like
it is
Michigan
disrespectful.
Michigan has no, like, I say, even as a Notre Dame fan, because Notre Dame fans and Michigan fans hate each other to death. But at least we can all come to a point that we hate Michigan State more than we hate each other, just because of how toxic they are, and their fan base talks a lot of crap for being a 6-6 team every year at this point now.
Yeah.
So people will say, "Oh, when's Notre Dame been relevant? When's Michigan been okay? When's Michigan State been relevant?"
Yeah. And that's a great point, right? Like they beat Michigan in 2021 in a game that Michigan really gave up, but Michigan should have won. However, I can't, I'm not gonna do any revisionist history. We lost the game, and the lengths they go to get under your skin are incredible, especially for a team that hasn't really been that relevant. Now, granted, they did make the college football playoff before Michigan. They also didn't score any points in that game. So it's sort of a weird flex, but whatever, a flex is a flex, I suppose. Any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section. If you have anything to add to the conversation, be sure to leave it in the comment section.
I don't know. Me personally, like, I dislike Michigan and I dislike their fan base, but at least it's more like Michigan Notre Dame fans, like when one side beats up on the other, and vice versa, like we seen with the game in 2014 where Notre Dame won 38-0. Then you guys bludgeoned us in Michigan in 2019. They have respect for each other. Like, we'll admit, like, hey, you guys outplayed us, blah, 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 blah. I can't forgive Michigan State fans because the game that happened, I believe, in 2010, when they won on some BS and their players stormed the field acting like they won the national championship and then stuck their flag right in the middle of the Notre Dame logo,
Yeah.
had me feeling some type of way. Like, I don't like that whole disrespecting the logo type thing that some teams do. I know Michigan did it to Michigan State, but
and we also just did it to the other state last year. Here's
that's
the
different.
thing.
That's Ohio State. Nobody cares about Ohio State.
Yeah. Desecrate their entire field. Here's the thing though. I don't get too upset about those sorts of things, especially when it's like when the underdog wins. Now, here's the thing. If you guys had been like a 10-point favorite and beat Michigan State at Michigan State and then went and planted your flag on Michigan State's logo, I feel like that'd be different, or vice versa. If Michigan State, for whatever reason, happened to be a favorite, which they probably never will be ever again, to a pertinent team, and they win, they shouldn't plant their flag. However, if the underdog wins, I really have no issue with it. You should have won the game. Especially if it's obviously it'd be at your house because they're planting the logo on your field.
Maybe it's just me because Notre Dame's blew out Michigan State a lot, especially at Michigan State, and we've never done anything like that. However, I will say the best, disrespect to a logo that I've ever seen. What Michigan did to Ohio State was pretty good.
Yeah.
But what Oregon did to Ohio State after they left the rubber ducky in the middle of the field, at like the middle of the O, right. I was like, okay, that's just top tier. You can't beat that. You can't beat that.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. I think Baker Mayfield comes to mind too when they beat Ohio State. A lot of people don't like Ohio State. I wonder why. They have like the most obnoxious fan base in America.
Their fans are very delusional.
They think they're better than they are, but it is.
They think they're Alabama. Let's just say they think they're Alabama.
Yeah. Let's switch gears here really fast. We also have a player in common, Brandyn Hillman. We touched on it a little bit in the beginning of the show, but Brandyn Hillman was committed to Notre Dame. He later decommitted or asked out of his letter of intent because he signed his letter of intent in the 2023 class. For the 2023 class, he obviously has now asked out of that letter of intent. What are your thoughts on how that played out? And he is now with Michigan.
Don't have any ill will towards the kid. Good luck at Michigan. I will say this though, like Michigan fans that don't actually know the story. I'm sure you covered it in your video. I didn't get a chance to watch it. But before you go out and say, oh, well, Michigan stole a recruit from Notre Dame, blah, 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 blah. This isn't even because, it's a rival and all that stuff. It's just more of I would appreciate people to do their research on why a kid ended up at their school instead of just saying, oh, he picked us over you guys, which, as much as Phil loves Michigan, that's just how it is. It has nothing to do with he picked Michigan over Notre Dame. He struggled academically. He struggled at Notre Dame academically. Was in fear of losing his scholarship at that point. And basically at that point was like, hey, I need to let out of my NLI. I'm gonna go somewhere else. So that's just the gist of it. It wasn't, we're kind of like a Jaden Rashada thing where I went out of my NLI because I don't want to be here. I want to go somewhere else. It was more of like, hey, he wanted to be at Notre Dame, but because of his academics, he could not stay at Notre Dame. Now, I'm not saying Michigan's academics is not that good. Obviously,
right,
Michigan's
because
one of the
there
top
are people who have been going crazy with this. But first, I want to get to Jason Moose here. He thank you, by the way, Jason, for the super chat. Notre Dame and Michigan is more of a respectful rivalry because of our past success. MSU is more of a hateful rivalry. We genuinely hate MSU and their fans. That is a fact. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Notre Dame has won a lot of football games in their existence. They've won a lot of national championships uh, since they've been playing football. Same for Michigan. Michigan is, by the way, the all-time winningest program in the history of college football. That's just another feather in the cap. I do believe the other state might have the best win percentage now, which is super disrespectful, and we need to do something about that. However, what Jason did say is the truth, and it is more respectful than some of the other rivalries, right? We just can't be friends with the other state. I refuse, although most of my family are fans of them. So outside of the family, everybody else, you're a
The amount
loser.
of support that actually Michigan fans have given me and other Notre Dame fans on Twitter
Yeah,
in terms of shit talking
yeah,
Ohio State fans,
yeah.
like, like when they're talking
Um,
about, oh, well, we're gonna beat you guys this year, like talking about Ohio State fans saying we're gonna beat us this year, and of course we're like, you guys couldn't even beat Michigan. Like, come on,
yeah,
beat Michigan first before you talk about beating Notre Dame.
yeah. I don't like your tone there. I don't like you guys can't even beat Michigan. Like you're the level, like you're the boss at the end of the level or something.
No,
That's not the
I don't mean
case.
anything by that. I
Right.
mean more of like, Notre Dame and Michigan.
Yeah, yeah,
Whether you like it or not, our offenses and our defenses are very similar.
yeah.
Both schools were, brought up in the
3 yards
same
in a cloud
style.
of dust
Yes,
type of thing. Yeah,
yes, that's just how Notre Dame and Michigan play.
yeah.
If you can't now, the difference between Notre Dame playing Ohio State this year and Michigan was Michigan had a quarterback
Yes.
that was proven at the time. Notre Dame, Tyler Buckner was not proven yet at that time.
Right.
So you can't, let's say this. If Ohio State plays the way they did against Notre Dame this year, right? Where they struggled offensively. They mightily struggled. They had the
Ohio
lowest
State
point
does suck.
total they had all year. And the only
Right.
reason they won is because Notre Dame had no offense. If they play that way against Sam Hartman, Sam Hartman's not being held to 10 points. I'm sorry. Like, that's not happening.
So all right. Who would you say is the favorite going into the game this year? Like Vegas is going to have
It's
as the favorite.
probably going to be 50-50 for Vegas.
Really? You think it's a pick 'em for Vegas?
I think
And that
because
may
it's
be
at
true.
Notre
It's gonna be
Dame.
you guys are gonna get 3 points for being at home.
I think Notre Dame will probably be favored by 4, if anything.
What?
The 3 points for being at home, and I think the 1 point just because we don't know what that kid. I don't even know the kid that's playing for Ohio.
Kyle McCoy.
First of all, can we talk about Ohio State fans talking about how Michigan fans saying JJ McCarthy's a top 5 quarterback in college football?
Right.
I thought that was crazy. But to say a kid that hasn't even well, never mind. He has stepped foot onto a college field for a game, but it was against Akron, who won one game all year.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, maybe they're not gonna lean on. Maybe they're not gonna lean on him to win the game.
hey man, like, can we talk about that though?
Yeah,
Like, you're bragging about a guy that's gonna be
talk about it.
They said he's gonna be better than C.J. Stroud.
It's
Like,
possible CJ Stroud never beat Michigan. If he beats Michigan, he's already better than CJ Stroud.
But I'm saying, like, dude, okay. They're like, oh, well, Notre Dame never had a quarterback that threw for 6 touchdown passes. He threw for 6 touchdown passes against Akron.
Yeah.
Drew Pine would have. No, not Drew Pine.
Don't. I feel like you shouldn't go here.
No. Cade McNamara would throw for 6 touchdown passes against Akron. Like, let's be real.
Leave us out of your nonsense with the other state. We have our own. Issues.
Is that not true? Would Cade McNamara not throw for 6 touchdown passes against Akron?
Cade McNamara. I want to show all the respect to Cade McNamara. He's the most important quarterback in modern history for Michigan. So I will say that. But Cade McNamara, yeah, against Akron, absolutely.
I don't think people realize how bad Akron was last year.
Yeah, they don't.
Bad.
But 1,000 wins for Michigan is within reach this year. In fact, get this: if we run the table, we handle the business we're supposed to handle. Obviously, I think the toughest game on the schedule, without a
Penn
doubt, is
State.
Penn State. Winning at Happy Valley at night is not going to be easy at all, and they're going to be motivated to beat us for sure. So if we handle that business, if we get out of there unscathed, I think 1,001, the 1,001 win would be if we beat the other state in the big house. That would be poetic.
Didn't you guys already beat him in the big house?
Yeah, we beat them this year, 2021, our championship year, 2021. We beat them in the big house in the snow. They hated it. Remember, last year they were checking their weather apps. They were crashing weather apps across the country, checking the weather to make sure it wasn't snowing. They had a
But
bright, sunny day.
Ohio State players
lost.
aren't used to cold weather.
It's ridiculous. They're in Ohio. It snows there. I'm from there. It snows there. I'm not from that vile, disgusting cesspool that is Columbus, but from Ohio, and it snows there. Anyway, let's get to some other comments before we move on. Michael Campbell back. Ohio State have receivers. We got it.
They have one receiver, or no, two. They have Buka and Marvin Harrison Jr. That's all they have. Guess what? Benjamin Morrison's going to be locking up Marvin Harrison Jr. all game long.
I need you to not do this. Don't do this.
Yes, he's going to.
Don't do this.
I will actually say this right now, and you can go back and clip this when this game happens.
And we will.
Marvin Harrison Jr. will not have more than 50 yards receiving against Notre Dame. I will book that.
I wish
right
you
now.
wouldn't do these things to yourself. Look, by the way, my comment section in my videos, some Michigan fans really hate you guys, hate you and Mike. And I'm not going to, obviously it's not 100% of the fan base, but there are some of them that really dislike you guys a lot, right? And it's because you say these things. You say these things.
You guys would say the same things about. You guys would say the same thing about Will Johnson.
Will Johnson is a different animal.
No, okay, yeah, okay.
Let's be clear.
Did he get 7 interceptions as a true freshman, only playing in 6 games?
Oh my God!
Let's not go there.
Oh my goodness! One of those quarterbacks threw the ball to that man 3 times in one of those games. He was looking for him. No. It's like Morrison was running the routes.
The Boston College game, that was just pure effort. If you watch those, a lot of those balls were like, I think 2 of them were out routes. And the Boston College quarterback threw it 5 yards out of the receiver's reach, and Morrison just goes out there in a snowstorm, mind you. This is a blizzard, and just jumps that route and just grabs it.
Yeah,
I'm like, this okay. Benjamin, like I'm just saying, Will Johnson is great. Benjamin Morrison is on the same level. I believe both of them made the all freshman team.
They did,
or freshman All American. So, I'm not gonna say one's better than the other. But let's just say that if you had Will Johnson and Benjamin Morrison on the same team, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Like that's it. You're not getting any yards. Like it's no fly zone.
You're not getting any yards. Look, I want to take this time to remind everyone to follow my guy Ryan here and the Week Zero podcast or Week Zero Productions. I'm sorry. We're going to put it on the screen here. Week Zero Productions. Head on over. Give those guys a sub. You can also follow them on Twitter there.
You gotta get an updated screenshot.
Yeah, I do. That one is that is an old screenshot.
That was before we even hit 125 subs.
Oh, yes. I won't disrespect them. They do have over 100 subs, so you would but you'd still be contributing to helping the cause. So be sure to follow. All right. We have 34 people here. We want to thank you for that. We were up, I saw a few minutes ago, 37. Thank you. The show is continuing to grow in popularity. Obviously, we'll continue to get better as we feed the get the feedback from you guys. So thank you for that.
And don't
Jason,
forget as well, we will also be having our buddy Phil over for the NFL draft stream for the first round. So I know you guys love Phil to death.
yeah,
If you love Maze
follow me over
Madman,
there.
yes,
Right.
we will be doing a live stream for the entire first round of the NFL draft. So go check us out.
It's gonna be a good time. And by the way, it's if you hate Ryan, there are other guys to hate over there. So follow me over there. And we'll
Lucas
set them all
especially.
straight.
Like you guys think I'm a delusional Notre Dame fan. You should hear the stuff that Lucas says about Oregon.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Will Johnson's probably the best cornerback in the Big Ten. That's without a doubt. He definitely is the best
He is the
cornerback
best corner in the Big Ten.
in the Big Ten. He is one of the best corners in college football. He was on the preseason list. They did have him down way too low, in my opinion. Will Johnson is no lower than number 2, and he's not 2. In terms of corners in the country. Let me ask you this. You guys have started your spring practices, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard anything about what's going on in your spring practices? What are you looking for? What does Notre Dame need to improve this upcoming season?
The thing I do like is that Chris Tyree is no longer going to be playing running back.
You don't like Tyree as a running back?
He's one of those guys that Notre Dame has never had success with.
I see.
He's a pure speed guy.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't fit Notre Dame. Like that's this when you get a speed back that doesn't have very much strength, that's more like what you see at like Oklahoma or Texas Tech or some of these small like Kansas State. Not saying that Deuce that doesn't have freaking amazing strength, but
right.
I mean Tyree's a smaller guy. I believe he was the number 1 all-purpose back in his class. He runs a 4.3 40, so he's fast. Right. It's just we've seen him the last couple of years since people always were like, when Kyron leaves, we're fine. Chris Tyree is going to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Last couple of years, it just hasn't. He's gotten the opportunities. I don't know what it is, but we've seen flashes of him being able to use that speed and that elusiveness that he has. But when you run him up the middle or you run him to the side, it's like he can't get past that first initial defender. And that's the death. That's what kills speedbacks is when they can't get past the first defender.
Right.
I don't care if you run a 4.140, if you can't get past the first defender, break that first tackle, make that first guy miss, you're not going to be able to utilize your speed.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he's going to be a wide receiver now. He's going to be the slot for us. So I think it'll open up things for him and our passing game as well because we haven't had a guy that's that fast at receiver and God knows probably forever. Maybe since Rocket Ishmael. So I like that. I like that they're going to start making Audric Estime and Logan Diggs the primary backs. Jadarian Price, he's coming off of his ACL tear. We'll see what he's got as well. But the main thing I took from this first day, the offense. All everyone talked about was Sam Hartman and how it didn't matter what receiver it was. Even the practice squad guys, he was hitting. Perfect stride, perfect throws, perfect accuracy. And from what it sounds like, him and Buckner were going tooth and nail at each other, in practice. Buckner's not giving in easy for that quarterback job, which, let's be honest, Hartman's going to win the job just because you don't bring a quarterback like that over
which I don't think is right.
him.
It's not right.
Guaranteeing the job. But I think like the practicing, the going against Hartman head-to-head is going to help Buckner a lot.
Right. Hold that thought. I want to get to, we got another super chat here from Kyloran Miami Kane. He says, Ohio State fans been crying all week. Cope better. That's a fact.
What do you mean?
This right
They
here,
haven't been crying all week. They've been crying since we got Sam Hartman that we tampered.
they've been
You know
crying
why?
since
You know
21
why?
about snow. So
You know why? Because Ohio State fans only know how to cry unless it's something that benefits them. Which,
right.
let's be real here. Let's be real here. How many times has Ohio State gotten bad calls that went their way in key games? How many times have they
It wasn't a first down.
allegedly
It was not a
paid
first down.
players to come play for Ohio State?
Right.
How many times have they allegedly tampered? And
Yeah.
then they want to cry when Notre Dame and Michigan get guys that, like, oh, well, you guys tampered. You guys should be in trouble. It's just funny to listen to them.
Shout out to Kai Lauren, Miami Kane. Actually, Miami took this, got a recruit from Michigan. I can't pronounce that kid's name to save my life, but he was a 4-star edge, and Miami actually got the flip there. So, shout out to Miami. You did do a good thing in getting rid of that OC of yours, Josh Gaddis, former
When are we
Michigan
gonna have a
OC.
Notre Dame Miami rivalry again? That was
Yeah,
pure hatred. That
that
was
was. I would be mad too if somebody called me the
a convict.
criminals, the convicts. There it
They
is.
were
Right.
though. They were though. They went to
No, they
prison.
weren't.
Yes, some of them went to prison and had off the
Some
field
of them
issues.
went
That's
to
why.
prison.
They did.
I'm not. Hey, I don't. I'm not.
I mean, I'm not speaking bad about people, but like they called us Catholics, so we just went with it.
Well, you are Catholics. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference here. Notre Dame is a Catholic university,
Hey,
and
but they
then
won't speak upon the fact that we have a winning record against Miami in that series.
oh
They won't
Lord.
speak on it.
So again, Kai Lauren, thank you for the super chat. And yes, Ohio State fans have been crying. They've been crying since we beat them in the snow. They cry about the conditions. The conditions were too bad. Then in Columbus, the conditions were too good. I don't know. I don't know what they want.
Let's bring up Michael's comment really quick. The Jadarian Price is like Reggie Bush, dude. You, like I said before, I love you, bro. You're a Notre Dame fan. You're a homie. But some of the stuff you be saying, I just can't back up. Like Jadarian Price hasn't even played in a college football game, and Reggie Bush was one of the best, if not the best, running back to ever put on a college uniform. So,
Yeah, man. You got to stop doing. Yeah, but again, you jump out the window too. I feel like Notre Dame fans jump out the window head first.
I could say that Sam Hartman is
No
the best
bungee.
quarterback in Notre
Just
Dame history, but that's just not true.
land on your head here. You could say what?
I could say Sam Hartman is the best quarterback to ever put on a Notre Dame
Oh
uniform, but it's
Lord,
not true.
we've got to stop this.
It's not true. I said it's not true. It's not
Okay,
true.
all right, cool. Rudy was a Mormon.
No, Rudy
Go
was not a
blue,
Mormon.
go blue.
No, but you know what Rudy was? He was offsides. I'm not even going to cap. He was offsides.
Ah, look at that. He was offsides, and JT Barrett didn't get the first down. I stand by that. As long as Minter don't blitz, Michigan wins easily. I'm guessing you're talking about against the other state. I almost said it, against the other state. Yes, I agree with you. We should just stay in our base defense. It was good enough to beat them for 2 years. We don't need it. If we can get pressure off the edge, we're good. Tyler Buckner was on the money too. You spoke about that, right? And apparently he and Hartman going at it. Gaddis killed us. He destroyed your school last year. I don't know what those plays were, but
Josh
get him
Gaddis
far,
was the
far
reason that
away.
Harbaugh almost got fired.
Josh Gaddis was almost the reason. Josh Gaddis also will sleep with recruits' mothers. So watch your mothers.
The reverse Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard not Miami, but Maryland just hired him as the OC. So
Oh
I
God,
expect Maryland to be trash this year, even more trash than they already
he's
are.
gonna ruin Talia.
Yeah. But yeah, so all right, let's get into what's the next topic you had for us to talk about.
I mean, we can kind of spitball here. Oh, big one is Notre Dame. for the basketball at least, looking to hire
Oh,
Micah
Penn State.
Shrewsbury,
Yeah.
the guy from Penn State.
Penn State
I
had a
don't know
great
too much
year.
about him. I mean, you watch a lot of Big Ten basketball.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
no, what are your thoughts on him as a coach? I mean, I've heard people say he's the hot hire right now that a lot of people are interested in.
yeah.
Is there a reason why?
Well, because Penn State traditionally is terrible at basketball, and this year they were not. To be is the most blunt answer. But I do think he's a good coach. I think he's a serviceable coach. I also heard that Penn State offered him a lot of money to stay, so it'll be
Mhm.
interesting to see how that works out if he does
They said
leave
a
for
decision would be coming in the coming days. So
exactly. And I think it would be smart for him to leave to go to Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a bigger brand, even in basketball, and it'll be a better opportunity. ACC
I don't know,
versus
man. Notre Dame is a
Big
mess right
Ten.
now. Like I don't know if I told you, but Notre Dame's only got 3 scholarship players on the team for next year
Well,
for
that's not
basketball.
great, but he's a guy that will be there to help turn it around. You know what I mean?
Now,
It's not like one of these flash in the pan things.
what I would love is if he comes over from Penn State and then just brings the entire Penn State roster to Notre Dame. See, now that I would like,
Right. Yeah.
because otherwise we're gonna have to start stealing Michigan transfer portal guys.
Oh Lord.
Or never mind. I don't know if we want guys from a 17 and 14 team.
Man, it was pretty bad this year, right? And it wasn't supposed to be that bad. Like we had Jet Howard, who was really good at times, and other times he looked like a freshman. We had Hunter Dickinson back for his senior year. The two guards, Buffkin and the other guy's name is escaping me, but they played well at times. They were young. It was a young team outside of Hunter Dickinson, so
How did you
I'm just going
guys
to chalk it up
not
to that.
listen? How did you guys not make the tournament when you guys play in the same conference as Purdue that lost to Farley Dickinson?
Purdue was the
That's why
number one seed.
as Notre Dame calls them,
Yeah,
Purdue do.
right,
But and then you play you are in the same conference as Illinois,
right.
who lost in the first round. Same conference as Indiana, who are they still playing? I think they lost in the second round.
Are they still
I
playing?
don't, I don't
Right,
even know if they're still playing.
right.
Northwestern, I think they got beat, if I'm not
Pretty sure they
mistaken.
did. Yep.
So I don't even think there's any Big Ten teams left. How
Michigan,
the hell
little
did you
brother's still
guys?
in there, right?
Oh, Michigan State, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they had no business being in there. They got 30 balled by Notre Dame earlier in the year.
Really?
So, yeah, we beat them by 30 when they
That's
can't play Notre Dame.
disrespectful, right?
No,
Hunter's not a senior. Okay, all right.
but no, like what
So is he coming
happened,
back?
man?
William Rivera, is Hunter going to be coming back then for his senior season?
Like
Let me know
I
in the
don't know. It's like I
comments.
said, I don't watch too much Big Ten basketball, but what happened? Because it seems like your conference wasn't that tough. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, the Big Ten's the best conference," and blah 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 blah. But it just from at least the tournament outcomes, it doesn't seem like it.
Shout out to this guy, Braino 2 times. Absolutely, JT was short, and absolutely Rudy was a Mormon. This guy has been coming with the heat in the comment section. I like your comments. Keep them coming. But yeah, so I don't. Again, it was a disappointing season for Michigan basketball. I don't appreciate you bringing up all of these sore spots for us in terms of the basketball season. We have moved on as a collective. It is all
Is Juwan Howard gone? Is he gone?
tunnel vision. I don't think so. And I'll go a little bit further on this. I don't think that Juwan Howard is gone. I don't think that Juwan Howard should be gone. I think Juwan Howard does need to hire. I can't even blame the assistants. He's got freaking Phil Martelli as an assistant. Juwan Howard does need to work on some things. I will say that. But I think in terms of win-loss, he's ahead of his predecessor in the first 4 years. So I don't know.
Wait, didn't his predecessor make it to a Final Four?
Yes, he did. He actually made it to 2 Final Fours. He actually made it to 2 championship games.
And you guys let that man go.
Well, no, he got he went on to be the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers for a year, who then fired him.
No, he didn't even make it past the year. He got fired midway
Yeah,
through.
yeah. See, so there's that. He decided to leave. We didn't, tell him to go.
You guys didn't open up the pocketbook?
To pay a head coach more than the Cavs?
I mean, like the Cavs are pretty much a poverty franchise outside
A
of.
poverty franchise.
I mean, as a LeBron
their
fan,
owner has money. They're good.
Michigan has money.
Well, yeah,
Let's talk
but
about it.
I think also sometimes it's not about necessarily, if we could have matched the money, he probably still would like to, gone to the NBA. It's for some people that's a big deal to coach on the next level.
But anyway, like, what do you think of Micah Shrewsbury as the next head coach in Notre Dame? Do you think? I don't know how he likes to roll. My issue with Mike Bray was always he preferred 5th and 6th year guys to build his team around.
Right.
So how is Micah? Does he like younger guys? Does he like kind of in the middle? Experienced guys?
He's got a pretty experienced basketball team. I don't know about 5th and 6th year guys. Some juniors and seniors though, for sure, on that team.
I'm still upset, man. I'm gonna have to steal your friend. I'm upset because JJ Starling left us.
Yeah,
he left us for Syracuse.
Which now, I mean, I'm not sure if that's a great look, right? They forced out the greatest coach in the history of that school. In any sport,
they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything like the last couple of years.
Well, no, that's fair too. I mean, it's not like they've been tearing it up on the recruiting trail or on the floor. So,
and that's Syracuse. That's the same Syracuse that got Carmelo Anthony.
Right.
Like they used to be able to get anybody and anybody they wanted.
That's true. One thing that I have to share before we call this one is this here. Just want to share this again. Jordan Marshall committed. It's not breaking, but Jordan Marshall committed to the Wolverines yesterday. It's a beautiful thing. Sometimes I wake up and pinch myself because Michigan is.
Did you see what? I'm sure you did. Did you see what Hayes Fawcett said about you guys?
No, what did he say?
He put out a tweet.
Basically saying that Michigan is on a tear, right?
He said, let me go to their thing. Let's see. He said, Michigan recruiting is about to go on a run. # go blue, # patience.
Yeah. I mean, I see no lies. Obviously, Hayes Fawcett knows what he's talking about. The guys are going to him to get their visuals, right? So he knows.
I'm just waiting for Notre Dame to start getting recruits. We haven't gotten a lot of commits recently.
Don't hold your breath.
Hey, you know what? We're gonna flip Caleb Beasley from Tennessee. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Justin Scott, who's gonna be Notre Dame. That's just a matter of fact. Bryce Young, the edge rusher, he's a Notre Dame legacy. He's gonna be Notre Dame. Jared and Jacob Smith are 2 guys that are gonna go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
We're gonna get TJ Lindsey. Peyton Pierce is gonna be at Notre Dame.
Look at Dorian, you just going shopping on the
Dorian. These are all guys that have predictions to land with Notre Dame.
Oh, these are all crystal balls.
Yes, Dorian Brew is going to end up with Notre Dame.
Okay.
Caleb Brewer, Kennedy Urlacher, the son of the great.
Please share the screen.
Brian Urlacher.
Yeah.
And Kingston Villamu Asa, who is a top 5 linebacker, I believe. Let me go ahead and I'll share this. Because since people don't think I'm like making some weird shit in my head. Let's see.
No.
There we go. It should be there. Oh, you gotta add it to the. There you go. So that's all the current predictions. Caleb Beasley did commit to Tennessee in December.
You can't zoom in,
but he has not. I don't think I can. Let me go ahead. Maybe I can. There's got to be a way, right? Can I not zoom in? Wait. Control Z maybe.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But
So this is you
anyway,
guys'
yeah.
board right here, huh?
These are guys that have been crystal balled to Notre Dame.
I should screenshot this and send it to Michigan.
So yeah, so we got Ryan Wingo on there. We got Caleb Beasley. Emmett Mosley, another Notre Dame legacy. The Smith brothers, who Notre Dame historically has great. They're twins, so Notre
Yeah,
Dame has really, historically been great with developing twins on the defensive line. So I mean, I'm excited. I think Dorian Brew is starting to be like a really big name in terms of the 2025 class.
yeah.
So I'm glad that he's going to be at Notre Dame. Hopefully, I like the Kennedy Urlacher, like the fact that Notre Dame is going after Brian Urlacher's son.
Yeah.
That to me
I
is pretty cool.
want to show you something here. This is obviously some crystal balls in Michigan's favor. Channing Goodwin there is that my why is that happening? That's weird. He is the teammate of 5-star quarterback Jaden Davis out of Providence Day School. Blake Frazier, Michigan legacy, out of Texas. He will be committing to the Wolverines. Max Anderson, another offensive tackle. That offensive line, we just started in the trenches, you know what I mean? And we, before you know it, you're being bowled over, and Blake Corum is going 80 yards. Then there's Jaden Davis, who has obviously got several crystal balls to Michigan and the good guys. Blake Frazier again. So, Aaron Childs, that guy that, somebody said was going to go to Notre Dame. That's obviously not the truth.
He still will.
Taylor Tatum out of Texas, another top 100 player and running back. So,
Let me pull up this really quick because I'm on the crystal ball. So we got even more actually. Stop screen, present. This is crystal ball predictions. So again, Justin Scott, Notre Dame 100%.
What?
Jared Smith.
When did that Justin Scott one come in? Is that new?
See. So we got Tom Loy, Steve Wilfong. Those came out on January 23rd and January 16th.
Got it.
So Justin Scott's on there. Styles Prescott, guy that we need. The Smith twins. Bronte Johnson. Tay Johnson's going to be Notre Dame. Peyton Pierce. Oklahoma was the original leader for him, but Notre Dame is basically in the driver's seat for him. Bryce Young. Gerby Lambert, who is the number 2 offensive lineman in his class, according to On3. So him and the rest of these guys are already committed. So Notre Dame's going to specifically defense this class, I believe. Marcus Freeman said he wants like 6 or 7 DBs in this class. So
my guy, Big Groove here, says, first, I'm upset. I got to say it for him. I'll say it for you. And here's why. Looked at tape of Marshall Tatum and wait for it. Darian Dupree out of Chicago, Mount Carmel High. Yeah, they're all impressive. Those are all great running backs that Michigan is probably in the lead for Dupree as well. He's definitely in the lead for Taylor. I mean, we're definitely in the lead for Taylor, and we've
Dupree will be Michigan only because Notre Dame's not prioritizing him.
Oh my! You're one of those people.
No. Because he was he was a guy we offered a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys that even Notre Dame sources at least say that he's a fallback option if we don't get the top guys we want. He loves Dylan McCullough, who, I'm sorry, Dylan McCullough is the best running backs coach in college football.
As you can see here, from my good friend Jason Moose here, Beasley, another 4-star linebacker out of the state of Michigan. He's a teammate of Bryce Underwood, by the way. He's also trending for Michigan. Killer Dogs, this is my guy here. We won't have a short alignment anytime soon. That's for sure, man.
Neither will
In
Notre
fact,
Dame. O-line University.
Joe Moore Award, they can just house that. They could probably
my God.
give it away from the University of Michigan. Maybe that should be an award.
You know what your guys' issue is, Phil? you know what the issue is? You guys will win Joe Moore Awards. Well, my guys go out there and be first round overall picks.
Oh my God!
So that's the difference. That's why Notre Dame.
So do you think Olu isn't going to be a first round pick?
No, hell no. And Blake Fisher and Joe Alt are better than them. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth.
Joe Alt is a beast.
Never hasn't allowed a single sack in his entire career, and he's been starting
but he also hasn't played anybody.
For really? He's played Clemson, Ohio State.
Yeah, Clemson doesn't impress me.
Hey, all their guys are going in the first.
The other state, I don't know the last time they were like. Who's their edge rusher? The Samoan guy,
Eichenberg, and that 5-star freshman.
And Talia Wally. Yeah, I'm not impressed.
But anyway, really quick,
Groove, my bad, Groove. I knew that, and I still said Grove. I'm an idiot. Groove.
What was it? Jason said this dude's acting like Michigan the leftovers. I mean, was Brandyn Hillman? He picked you guys.
This guy says you are leftover status in Chicago. This is such ridiculous.
Hey, Brandyn Hillman, like you guys will sit there and be like, "Oh, well, Brandyn Hillman picked Michigan over Notre Dame."
Well, he did.
You know what happened? No, he didn't. He couldn't.
Well, first of all, academically, he's still in high school. I just saw a clip of him today from his high school. He couldn't have been on.
I got it wrong. So I got it wrong.
And in high school,
didn't get accepted. So I was wrong. That was my bad. I got it wrong.
And he didn't get accepted. He didn't get accepted because of
his grades.
Nope, a language class, not his grades overall. Overall, his grades are fine. It was a language requirement for Notre Dame. He didn't have it. He didn't get in. It's that simple. Now,
but he picked Notre Dame over Michigan before.
Initially, yes.
And he signed with Notre Dame.
Sure.
And he ended up, because of academics, I can't go to Notre Dame.
When you say these things like academics, it leads people to believe this kid is inadequate.
It's not like
I don't want to do that to him. It's not fair to him for people to think he's inadequate.
I'm not sitting here saying I'm just saying it wasn't like what these Michigan fans make it out to be, where he's like, I got a Notre Dame hat and I got a Michigan hat. All right, I'm going to Michigan. That's not what he did. He picked Notre Dame over you guys the first time, and then he went to his second choice, which was you guys. I'm just saying, Michigan gets a lot of guys that Notre Dame offers, but doesn't prioritize, if that makes sense. That's not me just saying. That's the truth. You guys wanted Jeremiah Love. Guess where he ended up, baby?
Everybody wanted Jeremiah Love. Don't try to act like it was a Michigan thing.
I remember. No. Michigan. EJ Holland. Your guys'
First of all, don't. I want to be very clear. This is a public service announcement, and I'm sorry to anybody in the comment section who loves EJ Holland. Do not. EJ Holland does not speak for me or the channel. I just want to say that EJ Holland does what EJ Holland does, and I appreciate. I can appreciate what he does. That being said, he doesn't speak for the.
He lies. That's what he does.
I'm not saying that. You said that.
I mean, no. Listen, the fact that he went out there and said, when I was, you could tell everybody I was worried about Jeremiah Love.
Right.
I was worried, and then people were like, oh, he's gonna go to Michigan.
Listen, you see this statement right here. This is why I can't take you guys serious.
I don't want Brandyn Hillman back. I'm sorry,
Now that's crazy talk.
Ben Minnick is better, and so is Aiden.
Stop
Schuler.
it. We're gonna end the show.
Oh my God. You guys just because you guys lost out on Aiden Schuler and Ben Minnick doesn't mean that they're not better.
Oh Lord, this is crazy talk.
This is not blasphemous at all.
But yeah, so look, I want everybody to be sure to follow Obviously, follow the Maze Madman on Twitter. You can see the ticker down there. Follow my guy Ryan Fravel on Twitter. Be sure to follow
Let's
Week
talk about
0.
it.
Yeah,
If any Michigan fans got a problem, let's talk about it. Like I
yeah,
like social
yeah. He's
interaction.
here for the smoke on Twitter.
I don't back Phil.
He loses
Phil
a
can
lot of
back me
these
up on this.
conversations,
I
but
don't.
he's here for it.
Phil can back me up on this. I'm not one of those people that like blocks you when you make a good point. I'm not one of those people. So I'm not an Ohio State fan on Twitter. I'm
Yeah.
not like. So let's get that straight.
I'm one of those people that is here for my enemies tearing each other apart. So when Ohio State fans and Notre Dame fans are at each other's neck, I like to like get in there, tweet something out, and then just let it go.
Where are the Michigan State fans at? Like, they don't
Nowhere to
ever
be
get
found.
involved in stuff.
They have nothing. They have nothing positive to say. They have nothing positive going on in their lives. It's bad. It's bad.
I don't think I've ever had an argument on Twitter with a Michigan State fan.
It's not worth it. I have. They will seek out Michigan fans and they will start something. In fact, the next time I'll point you in their direction. And
if you got a problem with some Michigan State fans, send them my way, Phil, because they got a losing record against us. So,
well, they've got a losing record against everyone. So there's that. But yeah, man. Tell the people what you got going on. You got a show tonight, or what's going on this week?
So tonight I gotta. I know a lot of Michigan fans aren't gonna want to tune into this, but if they do and they want some smoke, over at Week 0 Productions, I'm doing my weekly gold standard live episode for 30-40 minutes. So we're going to be talking about some Notre Dame stuff specifically. Like I said, we love the smoke. So if you want to go over there and comment, talk some trash, me and my buddy ND Forever are going to be doing a show. Then tomorrow night, Week 0 podcast returns. So go ahead and check that out. Hit us up in the comments. Like I said, we're going to be doing some draft stuff, talking about, the recent stuff that's happened on the tournament. So yeah, like I said, go over Week 0 Productions on YouTube, look that up, and give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys tonight and Friday.
Absolutely. And as for me, follow me on Twitter at MazeMadman. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I will be back to regularly scheduled programming tomorrow. We're expecting more big news for Michigan recruiting, so be on the lookout for that. Also, thank you to everyone who participated in the chat and who gave super chats. Thank you to all of the people who tuned in live too. We'll be back next week. And until then, you know what I'm about to say. I'm upset.